Is my staircase. Have you ever seen a staircase like this?
Not in 20 years.
And this is the reason why it's the worst staircase that someone's seen in 20 years. And it's essentially because all these risers, for some weird reason, are all different sizes. So we're going to change that. Staircases have been around for thousands of years, and it's not always been about getting from one floor to another. A well-crafted, good set of stairs will literally add thousands of pounds to your property, and that is exactly what I am hoping to do. Now, before we even think about ripping out my staircase, we need to get an accurate measurement. And to be honest with you, I really struggled with it. So I managed to blag Stairbox to come out and help me measure it. Now, this isn't a normal service. Essentially, what we're trying to do now is get the finished height from the top of the steps to the very bottom of the steps, minus this, well, what is it? It's what the fuck's it called? Like laminate. Yeah, it's essentially laminate flooring, but I've never seen it that thick. It's about 15, 16 mil thick. So
with the underlay, yeah.
With the underlay. So we'll get the finished heights from both, add on 16 mil, and then that will give us a perfect measurement from top to bottom. And then you guys will then work out how many steps, hopefully level. Don't, whatever you do, don't copy and paste this one. It's like you have to walk upstairs like this.
Yeah, it's
all different sizes. So once me and the boys had got an accurate measurement, I say we extremely lightly, that is when the lads told me the news that I was absolutely dreading. Have you ever seen a staircase like this?
Not in 20 years.
So we're going to turn it from the worst staircase to the best. So the challenge is set. Taking a dangerous set of stairs that are over 100 years old and try and transform them into something magical. There is one small problem though. Well, I need help because I know absolutely nothing about installing staircases, and I didn't even think that you could. So let's see who we've got. It's Chris!
How's it going?
How you doing, pal?
I'm good.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
So as you can see, mate, the staircase is... have you seen this before with all different sizes?
Nah, it's so fried, so it's, to be fair, I don't know if it's made that.
So we spent no time at all getting all the old staircase ripped out. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was extremely messy. So I swapped into my actual work gear and we got cracking.
And every time I trip, it's a free fall. Why don't you help me the way I help you? You don't have to save me, just be my pet.
It's actually fun, this, ripping it all out. I'm not looking forward to putting it back though. We've took the underside off now. What's your plan up there? So what you going to try and do?
We're trying to like take it out obviously with like the most minimalist damage to like the actual property itself. So I was just going to have a wee look and see if we can get the top tread unscrewed. Maybe have it lift off floorboard and have a look at how this newel post is fixed in. Yeah. And then if we can, we'll just probably start dismantling it as we're walking down and then trying this wall stringer off the wall. So you try to be like a surgeon and be as like delicate as possible without upsetting the whole house.
So essentially we can get this out in one biggish piece.
We would like to do that, but the access might be just a wee bit tricky. But
right, okay.
apart from that, we'll try and dismantle it as much as we can.
It's good, this bit's fun, isn't it? I'm not excited to putting it all back together. I'm glad I've got you with me. Now, considering I'd never done a staircase before, it was coming out relatively easy. But then again, I did have Chris.
Basically, when we're taking the staircase out, we just need to tread carefully.
Listen, Chris, I'll do the jokes around here, mate. So me and Chris continued to strip out all of the main carcass of the staircase, and this is when it actually started to scare me a little bit. Staircase is now gone. We've had a bit of food off camera. Now what we need to do is we need to move. Is this a stringer?
Yeah, a shovel stringer.
Tell you what, I'm a joiner now. Need to get rid of this stringer. We're going to tidy up, and then we're going to work kind of up there, which I think is probably going to be the harder bit. But what do you think? No?
Nah, probably like meet in the middle. Probably if you have a ladder here, then I'll just chucks down to you. Probably should have worked top down, but...
Probably, but listen, we live and learn. I'm going to have to get this wall replastered, I would have thought, aren't I? Oh, that's coming away at the bottom. See?
Yeah, I already got that bit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's these big nails.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see on camera, but they've banged some nails in, big iron nails from the old days. I think this house is 130 years old, and this will be the original stringer, won't it, from the...
Yeah, probably.
From the old days. Now, the length of time that this staircase had been installed definitely had something to play with how difficult it was to get out. It was super difficult, but after preservation, lots of hard work, we finally got it fully stripped. We are done. All the stairs are out. A little bit of fiddling to do up there because the joist is out of plumb. So when we put the stairs in, obviously we need to put them in plumb, which is perfect timing because stairbox have arrived. It is time now to lift this staircase. This lovely gentleman reckons it's nice and light. Chris reckons it's nice and heavy. There's only one way we're going to find out.
It's heavy.
Are we ready?
Oh my goodness, it's very heavy.
That's well light. You mustn't be as strong in Scotland.
All jokes aside, we did need to make sure that we was really careful with this staircase, as it is a full solid oak set of stairs, which cost me £2,600.
Now, when I knew I was getting an oak staircase, but I didn't know they were going to put this much effort in. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 individual pieces of wood to create that, and then they've cladded it again with oak. How cool is that? Right, now it's time to get it installed.
And this was obviously the bit that I was super excited about. When I first bought the house, or should I say when we bought the house, me and Tina, I've always wanted a luxury staircase. So when you first walk into the house, it just looks wow, wow, wee, wow, and it started to look like it.
Little mid kind of day update. As you can see, the staircase is where we need it to be. Kind of, the wooden bits, these loves. We've managed to get the big post in. We've had to do a bit of fiddling and fettling. We've got it in as close as we can to the wall. What Chris is going to do now is we're gonna glue it in now. So we're gonna take it, lift it out again. So it's been in and out like 5 times now, but we're gonna lift it out one more time. He's gonna glue it all up, screw it as well as gluing.
Yeah, we'll screw it through the joist in the top, and we'll just shimmy it over a wee bit.
It's now time for the Pierre Resistance, the finishing touches. Now, I'm not going to lie, if it wasn't for Chris and his Mrs. Jodie come and giving me a lift on this project, I wouldn't be as far as I am. And to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have even started. So if you or someone that you know is looking for a top tier joiner in Scotland or even one day America, go and show him some love and drop him a follow.
Just like a dream, yeah. That in the night blue. 그들아 이렇게 눈 맞추면 you make me go crazy. All the little things you do. You're my teddy bear, teddy bear. 나는 사랑받는.
So the problem is, it's like the old staircase is probably like a slight degree out, proving too much of an issue. So we're going to just, without taking this down to be honest, but it's just proving too much of an issue. So we're going to just take the plasterboard down and then slide the staircase into the correct position. Take the plasterboard down and then slide the staircase into the correct. Messing about with a heavy staircase because you need to keep lifting it. I hope that makes sense to you.
Now I know what you're thinking, because I did too. The staircase looked installed, didn't it? Well, it's all down to the degrees. The old staircase was, I think, a 42 degrees, and the new staircase was 45 degrees, which meant we needed to completely destroy my bathroom to then be able to push the staircase back so it fit like a glove. However,
This is a nightmare, man. It's no sitting on it. This is just a pain in the butt.
now as you can see from Chris's body language, it was not going quite as well as we initially hoped. So with a lot of chiseling, a lot of fettling, we finally managed to get all the little bits that we needed out so we could slide the staircase back, so then it was correctly installed.
I'm happy with it. It looks like the actual straightened up.
So we can screw it in. And then what do we do? Put down there expanding foam.
Yeah, we could try and slide it over a wee bit if you want.
Now that we finally got the staircase in the position that we wanted, it was time to lock it all in with massive 4-inch screws, and then Jodie could do a final test to make sure it was solid.
Mark wants to have us for another night, so he's gave us extra work. We're going to lift all the floorboards. We're going to lift the carpet, and the reason for that is because he wants the floor sitting slightly lower than the top step, and it'll be some laugh. So we need to get all this up, all this into the skip, and then we can get the new floorboards down. And we're also waiting for Mark to come back for B&Q, because if he gives us this extra work, he can help.
You join me in a literal board meeting with Christopher.
That is the problem with older houses. Once you start on one job, you just create more and more problems, and one of them being all the floorboards were completely shot. So we decided to replace the full floorboards along the top of the landing. Easier said than done. If anyone's ever done this before, fair play. Like, it was so well, for me and well, mainly me, it was difficult, but once we'd finished it all, the floorboards were absolutely wow. Once we was fully happy with the floorboards, it was time to move on to the banisters. Now, I'm having glass balustrades, and a piece of glass needs essentially a bit of wood to sit in the bottom and the top to hold it in place. But to do that, we need to add the bits of timber against the wall and the kneel post. However, we was running out of time for Chris.
Well, what a day. Thank you, mate.
That's alright, it's been fun.
I didn't think we'd rip the floorboards up and put them down. I didn't think it'd take as long as it did. But when the house is like 130 years old and then these patches, you could see everyone had done little patches. So I just thought, listen, for the sake of £54, we put some new floorboards, which has slowed the process for this. However, there's not much Chris can actually help me with now, other than moral support and holding my hand, because he's given me a little jobs list, which we will show you a little bit later on in the video. He's given me some tips, which might help you when you're working with oak. But as of right now, we've got to wait for the glass to arrive.
So while we was waiting on the glass to arrive from Stairbox, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to get a plasterer in to repair all the damage that we had done to the wall installing a new staircase. And it didn't take long before he was done. The glass had arrived, which meant one thing. Now we have the staircase fully installed, it's time to finish the last little bits. Now, this is actually, I probably look a bit older because we've jumped forward in time a little bit just because of schedule. And we've got some help with us that's going to help us set the glass in. Can you guess who it is? It's Lewis!
Hey.
How you doing, pal?
All good, all good.
Are you ready to help me put some glass? I know nothing about putting this glass in. Thankfully, Lewis does this every single day, so he knew exactly what he was doing. I was just along for the ride. Now, one thing he did tell me that is super important, we ordered our glass to measure. So we needed to make sure that we put our banister in with a maximum of like a 2mm allowance, because the last thing that you want to do is the heat or the wood expand and then your glass fall out. So we needed to make sure that we got this absolutely accurate. Thankfully we did, which meant we could screw it all in. We have a banister, is that what you call it, Lewis? Banister. Banister and glass balustrades, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's doing an incredible job. Next up on this ever-growing hit list was the spacers in between the glass. So Lewis basically measured them out, I cut them, you basically glue them in place, and what it's for is to stop your glass from moving around, so it kind of locks it in place. Once that was complete, it was time to then install the oak fascias. Lewis has done about 20% of the work today, guys. You get me? To install our oak veneer fascias, all we used is a bit of CT1 adhesive and some wood glue for the joints. Once it had fully set, Lewis then went over it with his sander before that area was fully complete. It's now time for the most important bit, which is the most visual, which is the bottom balustrade. And to install it, it is just a repeat of the top process. So we install the glass. What we decided to do on this one, which we didn't do on the top, is just sit it on a little bit of CT1 as well, just to give that glass a little bit of extra security. Then it was time for them little pieces of wood, which we bonded in with wood glue, give it a good old polish before the whole staircase was completely installed, and it looked sick. Next up is the Osmo oil. Now, obviously, you've spent all the time installing your brand new staircase. You want to protect it. So to do that, Tina spent 3 hours painting on the first night, and I don't know how long it took her on the second night, but it is super important to protect your fresh new staircase. Now, to finish the upstairs off, we wanted to go really thick on the underlay, because there's no better feeling than walking out your bedroom and your feet just sinking into your carpet. So we went, I think, 15mm on the underlay, and then for the carpet we chose a really thick pile, kind of cappuccino colour. And the reason for that is we wanted to kind of lift the oak. But let us know in the comments if you think at the end whether the carpet colour was the correct choice. Now, to finish off the downstairs hallway, I really wanted LVT flooring. However, I'd never installed it before, so I managed to speak to these lads out of Warrington, which is Signature Flooring Solutions, and they explained that your floor needs to be extremely flat. Now, as you can imagine, mine wasn't, so they got straight to work fixing that problem by mixing up the floor leveler slightly thicker and going over all the joints that were extremely unlevel, before then working onto what can only be described as Shrek's sick. some sort of magical green paste, which I'm assuming is like an adhering contact. They basically paste it all over the bottom of the floor. Then it was just a case of setting up the fan, letting it dry before moving on to the bit what they actually come here for, the floor leveling system. And to apply it, they mixed up some SBR in a bucket with the floor leveler and they give it a good old whisk, making sure that you've got a consistency that is perfect. Then they just start to apply it, which looks simple, but I can assure you it is not. One thing you need to make sure, this spiky roller, you use it, it has so many benefits. One of them being it makes sure that your floor is as smoother than an otter's pocket. I've used that before in one of the videos, but I really like the saying, smoother than an otter's pocket. Anyway, back to the video. Final bits now, just making sure we're getting it to right to the edges and making sure that it's nice and flat before moving on to the drying. Now, this actually set pretty quick, Jack said, a couple of hours, and it was good enough to walk on. Now it's time for my bit, the LVT flooring. Super excited. Now, I was going to go herringbone on this, I'm not going to lie, but I really struggled with it, like just getting the kind of angles right. So then I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go normal. Now, this stuff is from Easy Bathroom, and yes, I have a discount code, which is Mark10. Now, genuinely, I don't know how long that is going to last for, so if you're buying anything from Easy Bathroom, including this LVT flooring, make sure that you use that code to save yourself some pennies. Now, to install it was pretty easy, if I'm being honest. All you do is kind of fold it into itself, give it a little tap to lock it in place, and just repeat that process till you're fully done. Now, let's take a look on how the staircase used to look like before I show you the big reveal. Now, what started off as a simple staircase ended up being one of the most challenging jobs that I have ever done in my life. But thankfully, I had Chris and Jodie with us every step of the way. Now, let's talk about the stairs that we put in. They were from Stairbox and they were £2,600. Now, other than our bathroom, it was our single biggest investment that we have made to our home. So let's see them. How incredible does this staircase look? Honestly, watching this video back genuinely fills me with pride. I will put a link to it in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this content. I know it's not my normal style, but I am going to be back out on the road surprising with gardens very, very soon. Don't forget to smash that like button and that hype button. Lots of love. Bye for now, you cheeky buggers.